Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and I caught a clip on Black Ram 313 on his show the other night, and they showed a guy talking about this bill that's going through in Tennessee. And so I had to, Google it and confirm that that was actually true. And this is one of the articles that I found from it. It says this is from Fox 13. I'm assuming it's located in Tennessee. Came out March 21st, 2023. And it seems like this bill is actually about to pass. That's what that video was saying. But this is when it was first brought up. And it says Tennessee bill would make it illegal to falsely accuse someone of being baby's father. And this is rampant within the society. They say of the DNA tests that are done, a third of them come back not being the fathers. There was I think over in the UK, I heard this a while ago, so excuse me if the details aren't all correct, but a teacher thought it would be fun to do DNA tests on the students to find out where they were from for a lesson, and with that they found out a third of those children within this class that those fathers were not actually their fathers. And so this is a very rampant practice by women throughout the whole world. It's I forget exactly what it's called, but women do this and they'll get the seed of a man who might be physically stronger, but then have a guy that can actually provide better for that child, and they'll switch it up. They commit paternity fraud all the time, and that's evil. That is absolutely evil, and that's why women, or one of the many reasons why women were held down and not allowed to be liberated. But they don't understand that. They don't understand that their nature actually kills societies. It breaks it down. It makes for unwedded women, and it makes for men that are not attached to society and would like to fight for society because they have nothing to fight for. And this current society that we're in, or in Western civilization, they push that. They push women's liberation. They push feminism, and basically not holding women accountable to anything whatsoever, and giving them all sorts of benefits for how they act. They have or even just think about divorce. A woman can commit adultery on her husband and get rewarded for it, but biblically that woman's supposed to leave with nothing. Or if she committed adultery, that's a crime unto death, her and that man. But if she were to leave in another situation, she's not supposed to take anything, because women are naturally flighty and they break up families. So these laws of the ancient times and the laws of the Bible prevent that and understand a woman's nature. And it's just, they should be under complete subjection. That's how a society can actually flourish. Having them liberated completely pulls it down. And so let's continue on with this. Memphis, Tennessee. A bill introduced to the Tennessee General Assembly would make it a crime to falsely accuse someone of being a child's parent. The bill was originally introduced to the legislature by Antonio Parkinson from Memphis, who represents part of Shelby County. Parkinson introduced it to the Tennessee House on January 18th, and Senator John Lundberg of Bristol, Tennessee, brought it to the state Senate on January 23rd. The bill, known as HB0253 and SB0331, passed the state Senate unanimously on March 20. The bill would make it a misdemeanor when a parent commits parentage fraud. Parentage fraud, as defined in the bill, occurs when a person seeks to legally establish the individual as the biological parent of a child in the person's custody with intent to deprive that person of property or to prevent the child's actual biological parent from exercising parental rights to the child. Under the bill, parentage fraud could also be when someone seeks to be legally established as a child's parent and the person knows or should reasonably know that they are not the child's biological parent. There's exceptions laid out in the bill, which could be read here. But anyway, this is a step in the right direction, but a step far too late. Really, the law, statutes, and commandments should have been actually used here, and then you wouldn't even have to have this, because a woman is supposed to have one man. It brings far too much confusion to have women running around and sleeping with whoever they want, bringing in children from other people besides their one husband. It doesn't make any sense, and it's something that we're seeing the end of. We're seeing men wake up and see through feminism. We're seeing men start to understand female nature, and they're not having it anymore. It's far too late to turn the society around, so we just need it to be destroyed and then things put back into order through the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible under Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. But I believe for this to be introduced, they're realizing that the economy is hurting, because there's things that men do when they're attached to a woman or have a family, and they're not doing that. They're shunning the idea of getting married and shunning the idea of participating in society, because the laws are completely against a man when it comes to women. The pendulum is on the far left side for women, and there's about to be some blowback, especially when the society collapses. They've made themselves enemies unto men, and there's got to be some recompense for it. And so, it's the book of Isaiah 32 and verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. And for a married woman to bring in a child from another man and try to pass it off as her husband's, or to pass it off onto another man whose it isn't, that's careless. There's nothing they have to worry about. There's no pushback against this. That's extremely wicked and completely evil, but this is one of the first laws of its kind. There's been no recompense for any of that. They've just been allowed to do it for years and years. And it's been years. Like, they'll talk about how that's the milkman's baby and things like that. This has been going on forever, since the dawn of time. But if adultery laws were actually pushed, and if women were not allowed to choose their own partner and paired up through their fathers, and marriage was seen in the actual biblical way, this wouldn't be happening. It says, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. And you can understand this, you could see the vintage, the illusion, the enchantment that women had over men. It's falling, it's fading away. It's not working anymore. Men are starting to wake up. There's all these red pill movements and the understanding of their true nature. It says, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. So they're being exposed, and they're going to be in a mourning state. It says, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the unfruitful vine. And they're going to be looking back, wishing that feminism still existed, that all these programs and special rights and privileges that they were given in this society still existed, but these things are failing and falling, and they weren't right from the get-go. They never should have existed. It just added to the downfall of this society. Even the idea of women voting, that's craziness. They don't have to go and fight or sign up for the draft, and your vote is supposed to be your backing of whichever individual, your physical backing. It's a way to do it without violence, to choose things without violence, and women don't typically exert violence, and so they shouldn't even have a say-so within that. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 9. For the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations. And bringing in a child from another man completely destroys a family. It takes it out from the foundations. And again, it's just absolutely wicked and evil. Adultery should completely be punished or be held. They need to be held accountable. And this is one of the first laws that I'm seeing on these women being held accountable. It's the book of Sirach 23 and verse 22. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. And that's exactly what that bill is addressing. A wife that goes off and sleeps with another man and actually gets pregnant by that man. It says, for first she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly she hath trespassed against her own husband, and thirdly she hath played the whore in adultery, and brought children by another man. And you're a whore if you've had sex with more than one man, or if that original man is still alive and you've had sex. You're the guy that took your virginity. If he's still alive and if you've had sex with other men, that makes you a whore. Even just two partners, it's too many, or one too many. It's at least through the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That shouldn't be. And this is all that law, going back to it, it also prevents women from just putting that birth onto another man. Even if it's not their husband, they might get pregnant and then they'll find some guy that could better provide for that baby, and they'll go sleep with him and pretend like that's the baby, even though it's not. Again, completely wicked and evil. Verse 24, she shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. And they didn't have DNA tests back then, but they do now, and that's an inquisition of the child. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach shall not be blotted out. And as people wake up to this, it's going to be a shame unto these women that they've been doing this, and that this is actually just a part of them. This is how they act, and there needs to be enforcements on that. But again, this society's over, and we're waiting for Yahweh to send Yahweh Shai back to destroy this kingdom, this wicked, degenerate kingdom, and bring in a society with order, and to put these women into subjection, because they just cause chaos all throughout society, and it goes unnoticed. And so, Lord willing, that was edified. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham L'Chakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.